on this fine Wednesday, if you're listening to this on Wednesday, the day it comes out, or maybe it's Thursday, Friday, or the weekend. But thank you for joining me yet again for another Ski Rex Media podcast. Please subscribe if you haven't. Let's just get that out of the way. I'm going to do it at the end anyway, because you know I dig on self-promotion 100%. But just don't forget to subscribe wherever you listen or watch, whether it's on IGTV or YouTube, or if you're listening on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Buzzsprout, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, all that. Make sure you subscribe and rate, 1 star, 2 star. I got a 5-star on Apple Podcast, so make sure you do that for me. I would appreciate it. Also, I don't know if you noticed, but I've changed the theme music for a little while from the hard rock and heavy metal that I usually do to the hard rock and punk rock music that we're doing now. Once again, last week, the Electric Ski Poles episode, Jeff Erickson from that band, he was on the program talking about it. I like that song. I dig that song, Ski Bum. So I'm going to use that as the intro music for a little while. What do you say? Anyway, the topic this week comes user submitted. If you saw the thumbnail for the audio versions, not the audio versions, the video versions. The audio version is the season 2 thumbnail, and I know I can't change that week to week. But I can change the one on the video versions from week to week. But if you read the title or you read the description ahead of time, in any case, it comes user submitted. You know me, like the fan interaction. I know I'm tongue tripping, dude. It is a bad day. I'm recording this on Tuesday afternoon, December 1st, and it's just been a friggin' day. Let me tell you. I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to get into it. We're going to get into the topic. And that is a little bit of a safety topic. That's preseason conditions and making sure you ski within your ability. Now, this comes from one of the Ski Rex Media fans. Brian K. interacts mostly on Instagram. He messaged me and, was talking about the podcast. And he says, guess what I saw this past weekend at Killington? And he was talking about the early season conditions. And in fact, you know what? I'm going to read his email, because he emailed me, a few things that he just wanted, he thought about while he was there this past Saturday. It says, Tim, so while my daughter and I were skiing Saturday at Killington, I came up with a possible podcast, which, he says to me in the message. And funny enough, as he's talking to me, he's messaging me about early season conditions and being safe, which we'll get into. I bounced out of the messages onto the old homepage on the Instagram app, and all the stories are at the top. So I'm watching a few of those. One of them happened to be Killington, and Courtney from Killington did a video, which she does. She does very good at that. And has done a couple reminding people of the early season conditions, because it is early season. They're blowing snow. It's not snowing a lot up there. So, late November, early December kind of looks like, spring. And she was warning people about that and wearing your mask. Make sure you wear your mask. But it was just funny that I popped onto her story, or Killington's story, and she was talking about that. And here's Brian talking about it to me as well for the same place. Little side story. So they were both talking about that, and that's what we're getting to. Early season conditions. I'm sorry, I got off point. Here we go. So he also writes in his email, firm believer that there is no bad skier, and have said that my entire life. That's where he and I connect. I also say there's no such thing as a bad skier. Just an inexperienced skier. That's all. No big deal. As long as you're having fun, it's great. And he says the same thing. I always tell people, if you're out there skiing, having fun and smiling, then you're a great skier. It's fun. If you're having a good time and you're doing it safely, then go for it. Wherever you're doing it, whyever you're doing it, great. Awesome. Been on the slopes 35 years. Never seen anything like this past Saturday at Killington. Killington over the past few days, including Saturday, stressed advanced terrain only. Very true, very advanced terrain. Even if it's not an advanced trail, the terrain's shot out because it's early season, very early season, snow blowing only. I mean, it has snowed a bit, but not enough to make a difference. Let's see here. Stressed advanced terrain only. However, that does not mean people heed the warning. The early morning was sweet and a blast, but as time wore on, became a shit show, his words. I like to swear too, you know that. Let's see here. So the blues bumped up and became a damn parking lot for people, he says. A parking lot, as in people were just stopped. You ever been on the Garden State Parkway, the New Jersey Turnpike, the George Washington Bridge, or pretty much any city road at 5 o'clock? That's what he's talking about. It's got gridlocked. Never seen so many people walking down the mountain in my life. What was really disturbing was the people getting rides down by ski patrol, not due to injury, just, couldn't make it down and needed a lift down, so patrollers took him down on snowmobiles. Even Brian admits he dumped it a couple times and almost got run into. In fact, he had to bail so as not to get run into because someone lost control. And they actually bailed out at about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And a fun note, he says his 10-year-old daughter crushed East Fall. So there you go. She had a good day. And he goes on. So my point in contact, he would suggest a podcast on knowing one's capabilities and looking out for the safety of others. That is what Brian K. emailed me and was talking to me about, and that's what I'm going to talk to you about right now. This season is off to an ugly start, no matter where you go. While most mountains definitely have things under control as far as COVID-19. And again, I can't say this season everywhere. That's too generalized of a statement. Some places have actually gotten snow. So they're not, while they still have early season conditions, it's not like it is here in New England where it has been raining and warm. Today, it is almost 60 degrees again on December 1st. And, winter is not, it keeps teasing and then it disappears. So not everywhere, but places like here. Early season conditions. The season's been a pain in the ass. People are getting used to the COVID-19 stuff. Wear your mask, gloves, social distancing. Remember to do all of it. Just make it easier for everyone, including the staff of these mountains. And as I said, Killington's story she was talking about the same thing. Courtney from Killington, you know who she is. You've seen it. She's awesome. She's wonderful. And she, like I said, was talking about the early season conditions as well. So I figure if he's telling me about it, one of the people who works at the mountain is saying it openly to the public, and I'm getting it from both sides. Why not throw my own 2 cents in? So here we go. Let's do this. Pay very much attention to what you need to do. Again, COVID-19, that's what people have been paying attention to. Do I need a mask? Do I need a reservation? Do I need a parking reservation? Do I need gloves? Is the lodge open? Can I get food? Can I get beer? Can I get weed? Can I get whatever? Maybe you can, maybe you can't, but pay attention to the conditions report. Early season conditions are just that. Remember, we're not just opening after a 2-foot dump of snow. Mountains these days, even outside of this season, just blow the shit out of the mountain with snow, just cover it as best they can. And it's whatever base they can create. And it's not always feet deep, so it can get shot out very quickly. That's one of the reasons. There's a lot of things that go into it. I'm not a snow scientist. I just know what I know from what I've seen in the past. So be prepared for early season conditions and look at the snow report every single day, especially if you're getting reservations. If you're already on the website and you're clicking through or tapping through, to buy your ticket if you need a reservation day ticket, or maybe you're a season pass holder, but even if you're a season pass holder, go to the website. If you're on the website, stay at the website. If you're not on the website, go to the website, social media, wherever you go to follow your favorite mountain to see what they got going on. Some of them might even still have the phone number. If I thought about it long enough, I could probably tell you Mount Snow's old phone number for the conditions report, or the extension. I think it was the main number, and then you tap an extension number. I can't remember. Okay, maybe I can't remember. Maybe I'm full of it. I don't know. Just a biff. It's one of those days. I told you that. But in any case, look, because one of the things that was being talked about at Killington and other mountains, I'm sure as well, is by midday, the snow might be getting soft, and that's awesome, but if there's a lot of people there, or as many people as they can have, it's getting ripped up. It's getting pushed to the side. You've seen it in the spring. You see rocks poking through. You see mud poking through. You see friggin' dirt and grass, and, because it's not a super deep base. And then bump runs. That's one of the things Brian was talking about. The blue trails were getting bumped up, and, groomers can't run all day. There's people there. It'd be awesome to just close everything for 20 minutes. It would take a lot longer than 20 minutes, actually. You know that. But you know what I mean. It'd be great if we could close it down, send the groomers down, and then get everybody back up, and that would be great. But we can't. So you have to be aware. There's no reason not to be aware. In the 21st century, there's so many ways to get condition reports. And you need to, because blue runs were turning into bumps. Green runs are turning into bumps. Bare spots, ice, shit, whatever it may be. It's there, and it makes it more difficult. And if you are not prepared for that difficulty, if you do not know how to ski that well, again, there is no such thing as a bad skier, but there are inexperienced skiers and snowboarders who just aren't ready to be up there. And now, normal mid-season you could go up to the top and get down. There's almost every mountain has at least one easy trail down. It goes way out. It's the longest trail on the mountain because it's got to go all the way out and then all the way back around. It's a giant one-turn switchback, and you can get down safely. Not right now, you can't. Blue trails are bumped up and missing snow. I saw someone else's story today at Mount Snow. The Out of Bounds podcast. Adam from the Out of Bounds podcast was talking about being at Mount Snow, and he was showing all the different little potholes and shit that was kicking around, and it sucks. I mean, his day was empty, so he had all the room in the world to work. If you don't have a lot of room to work and you go fucking bashing off somebody or hitting bumps that you're not ready to do, and like Brian said, he had to bail just to not get hit. Not get hit. He had to take a dive to not get hit. Like, are you kidding me? Be prepared. Always be prepared. Always be safe. Know your ability, and that goes all season. Like, don't look at the double diamond. Like, if you're standing at the top of a trail, if you're standing at the bottom of a trail even, looking up, and you second guess yourself, don't go. Don't go, because maybe you can do it, maybe you can't. But if you're second guessing yourself, you just don't have the confidence. You can't do it. All right, I shouldn't say you can't. I second guessed myself down at Big Snow my first time back on in 6 years. I know I talk about it all the time, but that's the best reference I have is myself. You know what I mean? So sometimes I second guess myself and have done stupid shit, and I know that, and but I also have confidence in my abilities, and I do know how to do it. So maybe that wasn't the right way to put it. But you know what? I'll stand by it, though. If you really are second guessing yourself, especially on a busy ass day, which I'm sure Killington on Saturday was pretty busy, as busy as they could be, as busy as they could operate. I'm sure they were busy. And with that many people around with conditions, like Brian said, man, he said it was it was gridlock traffic, man, a damn traffic jam, a parking lot on the side of the mountain with people, a figurative parking lot. People were stopping because they just couldn't do it, or it was much more difficult than they needed, or it was much more difficult than they anticipated. And that's not good for anybody. It's not safe. You're going to hurt yourself. You're going to hurt somebody else, or you could. I can't say you're going to. I should never guarantee things. I try not to make generalized statements, and I try not to make guarantees where neither of those things apply. I hate generalized statements. They do have their place, but not where a lot of people put them. But that's for a whole other discussion. In any case, I feel like people were so ready to go, excited, overexcited, and just looked at all the COVID-19 stuff, all the coronavirus protocols, all the guidelines, all the travel restrictions. And that's awesome. The excitement's awesome. The preparing for the pandemic stuff is awesome too. I'm happy you're doing it. I've been telling everybody, push for it, no matter what you think. Because even if you are on one side or the other of all the arguments, the guidelines are there, the restrictions are there, people's rules are there. The mountains have to do this stuff. So know before you go. It'll be a better experience for everybody, staff and visitors. Everybody followed that, or is trying to follow, or looking that up, and forgot about the conditions reports because they're so excited because the season got cut short in March. And here in the East, that's not that big of a deal. We don't have a lot of places that go into April, but obviously the West goes into April, May, June, and July at times. And, what was it? Not last year, but the year before. Who was it in California that was considering going for a full 365? They didn't do it. And I can't remember who it was. Pardon me while I get a drink. But I can't remember who it was, but somebody thought about it. But we don't have that here. So, while it may have been not as big a deal, it was a big deal that it closed down in March, but this past season because of the corona pandemic, it was a bigger deal in other places. So everybody's been excited, just excited. And everybody in general is excited. The ski season's starting, especially after a summer where nobody really got to do that much. I think they got to do more than everybody thought was going to happen. Like, we all got to do more than we thought we'd be able to do. But generally, there were, stay at home orders and businesses closed. And, like I said, ski mountains closed and other recreational things closed. People are just ready to get outside and go. And it's time to go skiing, man. And, it's shot out because now they're so excited they're forgetting the basics. Or maybe they're new and don't know the basics. But the basics are, look at the conditions report. You don't have to know it perfect. I'll even give you a little, I'll even cut you a little slack during, mid season and later on in the season before spring, mid season and a little later than that. I'll give it to you not really looking because, you can go up there. Snow's probably going to be on the mountain. And, if there's a place where you probably shouldn't go, it will probably be roped off. I'll give you being a little bit more lax then. But here at the beginning, you gotta know what's going on and then what you can do. Admit it. Just admit it, to yourself. I don't know how well I'm going to do. I have a reservation ticket. I have a ticket reserved. I have a ticket reserved at Killington in 2 weeks. 2 weeks time. It'll be my first time back on that hill skiing. Like, I have been up there. I've been up there for the races. I've been up there to do some hiking. I've been up there. I went up there for fireworks in July, for July 4th here in the U.S. I've been up there, but I haven't skied it since the 98-99 season. 1999, spring of 99 was the last time I was on that hill. So it's a very exciting time for me. But in 2 weeks, depending on what the weather's like, because right now, like I said, December 1st, 60 degrees. I don't know what December 2nd through the 15th holds. But on the 16th, as long as everything is open, I'm going. And I'm going to have to pay attention. What am I still capable of doing? Can I handle bump runs? Yes. Do I want to? I don't know. Do my knees want me to? Probably not. My knees would just like a simple day of backs and forths and backs and forths. That's all my knees would like. Am I capable? Sure. Are other people? I don't know. I don't know because I'm not you. You have to admit it openly and to yourself. Can I do this? It is better, I think, and a lot of people might say this is stupid, but I think it's better to just get the refund if you can, or skip the day and wait. And I know you're excited. It's hard to be patient when you're excited. It's hard not to be the kid on Christmas morning if you're into that kind of Christmas, where it's all, presents. Little kids, what do they know? That's what they know. And they get excited and they get fired up and they come running down the stairs. Actually, that's where Black Friday came from. Little side thought, just so you know. Take it from a boy who was in retail working Black Fridays for many, many years. It's not the sale itself. It's just the excitement and people's just run in the door and start swinging down on each other. And that actually kind of went away once we were doing overnights on Thanksgiving into Black Friday. But anyway, that was stupid. Don't even worry about that. Way off topic. I know I do it. And I'm sure it might be cute and charming sometimes, but other times it's annoying and obnoxious. Let me tell you, I've been told. Anyway, I get being the excited kid on Christmas morning, being the excited kid when the hill is open. I'm excited. I've been thinking about just tearing off and going to a place too. There's a few things around here where I could go, but haven't been, like I said, watching the reports. And scheduling conflicts. But watching the reports, I wonder if it would be safe for me to go. And I think it would be. Even, watching the Killington story there, the video there, I was like, all right, I could have handled that. I could handle that. And that's another thing. Don't go necessarily... Well, no, that's the wrong way to put it. I was about to say, don't go by what somebody tells you. Don't go by what someone tells you if they say they can handle it. Like, don't, just because they can handle it, be honest with yourself. If you can't handle it, don't. Because I looked at the video from Killington and I looked at that trail. I was like, yeah, I could have done that. Even at the end of the day, I could have done that. That wouldn't have been a problem for me. But that's me. And that was me actually when I was doing it all the time. I don't know if it would still be me, but I could give it a shot. I'm good enough where I could give it a shot and get the hell out of the way and not cause anybody any problems. You wouldn't even know I was there if I couldn't handle it. Even like Brian said, he saw a ton of people walking down the mountain. I don't know if I would have to do that. But if you think you are one of those people, Again, second guess yourself and don't do it. And like I said, just because I said, it doesn't look so bad, no problem, that doesn't mean you can do the same thing. Don't go by what I can do. Don't go by what your friends can do. Don't go what you see someone else doing, because you're going to see, like you said, it was a big jammed up parking lot up there. People were walking down and getting rides down from the ski patrol on snowmobiles, man. Like, that's a lot, and a lot of people. Like, obviously, if it's enough to notice, that's a lot of people. But you might see a lot of people not, and you see a lot of people skiing down and think, well, if they can do it, I can do it. No, man, you have to know your abilities. This is what I've been talking. I've been talking for 20 minutes. Here's the point. The point is, know your abilities. Be honest about your abilities. You don't have to be a hero. You don't have to show off. Believe me, how well you do is not going to get that girl's phone number, homie. It's going to be all charm and smarts and how you speak and how you act and, all that stuff. Don't show off. You don't have to show off for yourself either. Like, watch out for pride anyway. Don't get into that. But, you don't have to show off and you don't have to do it. It's not worth dying for, and it's really not worth getting hurt for. And I know that's stupid because it's a dangerous sport, but the majority of the time we don't get hurt, those who are experienced, in places where they can be. It is a dangerous sport, but you will not get hurt every single day. You may have aches and pains from being out of shape. That's what I'm going to be doing, just saying. But, know your abilities, make it safer. Because, again, it is a dangerous sport. Like I said, that's perfect to say here. That's actually perfect to say here, but I don't want to scare anybody off. Like, it's not so dangerous that you're definitely going to die. But you could get hurt, and you could hurt somebody else, and you have to know your ability versus the terrain, and watch out for that terrain. When a mountain says early season conditions, that means shallow bases, that means bare spots, that means rocks in those bare spots, that means mud in those bare spots, that means bumps that are not groomed out, because there's not a lot of snow to push around. You know what I mean? It means it could be more difficult, and it turns easier and moderate terrain into advanced and more difficult, and in some cases expert terrain. And you have to be mindful of that, and you have to be mindful of how good you are or how good you are not. And there is no shame in it. It's like Brian said, it's like I said, there's no such thing as a bad skier, man. If you're having a good time, do it, but you have to do it safely and get experience before you go into places that other people can go. And if you are second guessing yourself, don't go. Don't go. Like, if you're like, could I do that? I'm not sure. I don't know if I should. Don't do it. Just don't do it. And you'll be better off. Someone else won't get hurt and you won't get hurt. And, it's better that way. So be mindful. Be very mindful of the early season terrain. Be safe with that early season terrain, because it can get you. It can get you. And I want to be safe. I want you to be safe. I want people to be safe around me. You know what I mean? Well, how's that sound? Do we get that? Be safe. That was the point of this episode. That was me rambling for 25 minutes about being safe when it comes to the terrain. And obviously wear the safety gear that you feel is appropriate for you. I have a helmet now, so I'll be wearing that, especially with early season. Go knocking off a rock. That's not a good thing. All right. So be safe. Get those terrain reports. Go to social media. The mountains, they do videos. That's a big deal now, doing daily videos or weekly videos, and they'll tell you right there, where, what's going on and how the terrain looks. And they will tell you, if they say it's advanced, it's advanced. Just buy it. Buy into that. That's the part. If someone tells you it's advanced, believe them. If someone says to you, nah, it's fine, you'll be okay, they can't make that judgment for you. You don't let them. And don't let them mock you and try and get you into a situation you don't need to be in. You know best about you. You know how to be safest, and you know how to be safest around other people. Okay? Early season conditions. First week in December, especially here in the East. Out West, I don't know. I haven't had a lot of contact with anybody out in the West as of yet this year, but we'll see. All right, be safe, check the conditions report, know your abilities, know your limits, and follow them. And if you have to second guess your limits, maybe short yourself on your limits a little bit, okay? How's that sound? Good, not so good. I hope you enjoyed the episode, and I hope you follow that little bit of advice about being safe. I am Tim from Ski Rex Media. Please subscribe and like and rate and social media and skirexmedia.com and all that good stuff. Please go into the description. You can read the description, get all the links for contact and subscribing and everything else. And again, that subscribing works on the audio and video platforms, and if you can rate on a lot of those. So rate it up, man. Give me a 3 if you have to, but tell me why. I like I like fan interaction, as we can see. Thank you to Brian K from Instagram, that's where I see him the most, for his fan submission. If you have something you want to hear me talk about, or you have some other idea you want to tell me, you can this is my phone. I know it seems stupid to be waving around on the video, but all the contact information in the description, both audio and video versions, and I will take your topic, think about it, and then I'll talk about it. And like I said, I agree with Brian. Drive it, and I'm driving it home. Be safe. Know your abilities. Advanced terrain only. Believe it. And if you aren't sure if you can handle it, then don't handle it. Be safe for everybody, all right? Be safe out there. I'll see you all out there. Like I said, 2 weeks, and I'm at Killington on Wednesday the 16th, and then I'm not sure where I'm going to be at for there. Well, I know I have a second ticket for Killington too, out in April, but that's a whole other story that we'll probably get to in April. Be safe out there. Be kind to each other. It is the holiday season, so enjoy your holidays, and I will see you next week, I am pretty sure, on the Ski Rex Media podcast. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Bye.